On next weekend to face Sync Esports in the winners bracket finals. A loser will be bumped ticket, of course. So obviously a lot is on the line here in that sense, and definitely looking forward to some great competition here. What is going to be the third and final game? So of course, joined by Mini Mega once again here. We got the picks developing. Let's take a look at the initial bans. Ophelia, Swiftblade, Keeper, Cthulhu. So taking away a couple of those jungle options now, and all of a sudden we're left with Tempest, and well, that's already picked up over here by BMG. Parasite is on the board, so we'll see if maybe Dawn goes with the Parasite pickup, kind of bringing back the jungle meta, seems like, as we've been stressing, but they go Pharaoh for now. Anyway, so Magnus, Tempest on the Legion side, you got Kraken and Pharaoh on Dawn's side. So I would look back to, though, what are we going to see Probusk play is what I'm intrigued by here in Game 3. Obviously,
Flint Beastwood, pro?
Yeah? I mean, he hasn't mentioned Flint Beastwood yet. Maybe there's a
Maybe it's his secret strategy for this particular best-of-3 game with BMG. Maybe, perhaps.
It is a possibility. But, you know, you're talking about, like, Silhouette and things like... I mean, she at least is probably going to be banned, so it's kind of curious. Like, do you see that here? Do they... Okay, we want to get that hero here. I mean, they're right-clicking the Parasite, though, so...
I don't understand why they picked Pharaoh though in the second pick. Like, to me, like, you want to have, like, Silhouette is so strong. Like, Probusk has shown it time and time again. Like, the hero can work in a lot of ways. It can work in like a team fight potential sort of situation, like similar to a Soul Stealer. Probably not as big of that impact, but can still late game carry and can still split push and still useful in gates once picked up that portal key as well. So the hero is incredibly strong, and for Probusk, who said, you know, time and time again the hero is very strong and he feels very comfortable with it. And like a lot of their success has come through Silhouette. Like, it's always going to get banned in the second picking phase, and so, and at the same time, obviously, they want to have their jungler as well. So why don't they pick up Silhouette and Parasite in the first picking phase? Because that way, you know, it's not going to be able to be banned out. Yeah, Pharaoh might get banned out, but you have a lot of other suicide heroes that you can pick up as well, and even not, Pharaoh probably won't get banned out as well. It's not a common hero to be banned out. So yeah. It's a little bit strange to me. The draft here from Labyrinth, a little bit illogical in that respect, but maybe they're going to put out another sort of Nighthound-esque game like Game 1 and prove us all wrong, I guess.
That's true. You do see the bans. I mean, Empath and Silhouette yet again. You wonder if we're going to see that Malikan again coming out here with the ban from BMG or something else this time around. But Madman Dr. Repulsor so far taken out by Labyrinth over there, and there you go. There's the Malikan ban coming out from Tankafet. So he's pretty comfortable that he's kind of figured it out in that sense. At least those hero pickups here. So, you know, again, we talk about how the first game went so well with the Nighthound, and now they did have an Empath, to be fair, as well with the Nighthound, and not that that means like why it worked out, but that is banned this time around, so that could possibly be some logic why they may not go it again here in game number 3. You know, Soul Stealer going to be the final ban from Dawn in the meantime. Kind of taking away maybe what's been recently a comfort for Haxrin, perhaps, but now BMG, their 4th pick. So both teams still definitely need their carry go-to. That's what makes it even more interesting here. I wouldn't be surprised to see BMG go see that Dark Lady themselves here in Game 3. Make it work for them, but going to put some good thought into this one, I'm sure. They got 80 seconds of extra time, so...
I mean, Wretched Hag is on the board now, and we didn't see it in Game 2 because it was banned out. I thought that would have been a perfect pickup. I mean, Soul Stealer could work, but I think he's banned out here, so he is. Wretched Hag's on the board. I'd assume them to pick up Wretched Hag. It was perfect in the old meta because it was farmed very, very well, can still team fight, and has good lane presence as well. All you kind of need for the strategy going out that BMG have been playing. But for Rexos, it's kind of a little bit different because obviously Ophelia was banned, so they've picked up Parasite and Pharaoh, a lot more ganking-oriented. So they'll need some kind of hard carry to really, you know, get him into the late game while still having some kind of impact in the early game with the lanes as well. But there's the Pebbles pickup as well. So most likely a Suicide Magnus and then Pebbles Rhapsody in the middle lane. And then a short lane farmer, most probably that Wretched Hag for BMG. But for Dawn, the options are a little bit more open-ended, really. So we'll have to see.
Yeah, seeing that Pebbles pick up again. Going to be in the hands of Super KG, I'm sure. But yeah, Dawn, it's not too sure what to expect here. Support and a carry is very likely going to be the options, just a matter of what, and obviously plenty of options with that. You go big. He's right-clicking that Rhapsody, but of course that already is picked up by BMG, so perhaps from earlier here. But
I mean, I know it's really, really out there, but I don't know why they don't pick up like really weird heroes that they never really. Like, I mean, like Pearl could work perfect here. Like they're going against a very, very strong BMG AOE team fight hero team. I don't know if they're very comfortable with playing Pearl, but the hero is incredibly strong. If they can get one good preservation, it works almost better than a Rhapsody ultimate. And there's a lot of sort of stuff that can be casted and have impact outside of the bubble as well, like Magnus ulti, Pebbles ulti, and even Wretched Hag if they pick up as well. Like Pearl could work absolutely perfect here, but unfortunately we won't see it because either teams are afraid to pick it up or just don't feel comfortable in playing it. But it can work very, very well, and so we're going to see like a standard torture pickup, which it makes sense. Obviously, there's a lot of money on the line, but still, I mean, there's so many good heroes that maybe are a tiny bit lower in terms of the power rankings or power level, that maybe a tiny buff would help them increase. But at the same time, the hero are still good regardless if they get a buff or a nerf. Regardless, like the hero can work perfectly fine like Pearl, but teams are just a bunch of pussies, Breaky, and they just don't want to play him.
Wow.
Simply.
Hashtag shots fired right there. Minimag calling out the competitive on scene. No, it's speaking of Pearl, actually, it's kind of interesting you happen to make an example of that one, because I actually played it recently in a couple mid-war games just randomly, and I actually realized not only is her skill set, I mean, I knew that her skill set was very strong, but her passive, especially the heal, the on use of it is actually really strong. I mean, it's
an astrolabe.
It's basically an astrolabe, yeah, and on top of that, the fact the more that are nearby, the more passive health regen you get. For your team, so you're looking. It goes up to 12.5 health regen if everyone's around, like pushing in a fight or something like that, or just pushing as a team. So yeah, she actually is a pretty strong support hero. And it's kind of funny though when we say that. Yet the only times we have seen her, she's been played as more of a short lane hero, of course. Yeah. By Flint and whatnot, so
that's normally because obviously they can't get the farm on her, which she does need. Obviously, she's quite level dependent, and a few items can go a long way with her as well. But the fact of the matter is, like, this is like a perfect pick up to pick her. I mean, Vindicator works actually incredibly well here as well. Like, there's so many spells here coming out from BMG that are really, really quite important to make sure they get off. The Tempest Ultimate, the Magnus ulti, and the Wretched Hag, let alone the Pebbles combo as well. So the Vindicator pick up here, I love it. I mean, at least they're showing some kind of initiative. Instead of saying, oh, let's just pick these heroes because this works in the meta, they're saying, okay, we're playing against these heroes, let's try and find a counter. Yeah, it's not as out there in terms of Pearl, but Vindicator can still work, and most likely we're going to see a carry Vindicator as well, which I prefer, and it works a lot better. We saw it in Game 1, actually, obviously Vindicator played by Super KG. It just didn't have the same effect, which I'm assuming we're going to have a more effect here in Game 3. So I'm definitely looking forward to it. Just one issue I've got is that if BMG do get those, the early start here, and those core items up, then Dawn are going to have a lot of trouble sort of taking the team fights if they don't have the core items themselves, like in Game 2. So we'll have to see that.
It is interesting also noting that, again, Vindicator, going into the series, was undefeated, actually 7-0 throughout Haunter Season 3 so far. Now, you mentioned that first game, played by BMG, Super KG specifically. Yeah, didn't work out that well. Again, the game never really progressed, so was able to go about. So that happened to be the first loss for Vindicator. But now it's Dawn's turn to kind of still get their hands on it and see what they can make work happen. As he pointed out, too, though, Probusk playing it in that carrier role, most likely going to be the short lane farming, so that's going to be fun to see as well. Both teams trying to be really sneaky right here, but little do they know, both teams are being sneaky, so neither one is going to run into one another here. So in the end, just simply scattered things out, and you see some offensive wards going down. Tankafetta specifically placing one over here to go against his jungle counterpart in Parasite, at least prevent some spawns in that camp. And into the lanes we are going to be heading into here. So Dawn apparently does not like playing Tempest or Pebbles. In 4 games, they have 0% win percentage. And they're playing both of them.
And I think the reason why is, I mean, we saw it in Game 2, actually. I don't know, it just feels like Dawn don't really know how to really focus on the mid lane and really play against jungle versus jungle. Like, back in the old days, I mean, Dawn obviously weren't really formed as a team when the dual meta and the jungle factor was a big impact. Actually, before I go on, actually, Pharaoh might be in a little bit of trouble now. He should be fine, just take a little bit of harassment from Tempest. But, yeah, I mean, I just don't know if they're too familiar in how the dual mid sort of meta works with the jungle fact, because they need to have so much presence and really so much focus onto the mid lane, because mid lane is so important right now, because not only has the most amount of people in the lane, but also it's going to be the dictator and how this early and mid game runs. If they can get like a good start on Pebbles, get that early portal key, it's going to be a rerun of game 2. You saw Pebbles got an early portal key and just rinsed the game from there. Had a big impact. They started team fighting, and there was nothing that Dawn could do. However, the same could be said for Dawn as well. If they have a good start, Kraken can absolutely wreck as well. So I would like to see Dawn have a lot of impact, have a lot of focus and emphasis on this middle lane. Bring over Parasite, bring over Pharaoh as well. Just make sure they win this middle lane, because if they do lose it, then they're going to have a tough time in actually taking this game 3.
Yeah, so middle lane priority, it's kind of back to that in a sense. Focus, a lot of focus is going to be on that. Rhapsody Pebbles versus the Kraken Torturer right here as far as the matchup is concerned. So we'll definitely keep a close eye on that as much as possible. Again, you see the other matchups here, Wretched Ag versus Pharaoh. I like what Pharaoh did also right off the bat. He was taking a lot of harassment. Obviously, he knew Tempest didn't get stun as level 1. That would be kind of silly, and you'd almost like that if he did. But so he didn't have stun, so he just could have stood his ground. Then he actually blocked this camp right here at the Rune camp as he was taking auto attacks, and eventually went into the lane, knowing that, again, he was safe the whole time, basically as he was. So, good kind of heads up right there from Yellow Rexar playing that Pharaoh, and at least blocking that initial spawn. But Tempest, at the same time, he's been able to make do with what he does have. Magnus, you see Zibe right here, actually.
Yeah, he's not laning top.
Yeah.
He's not even suicide. There's a free lane completely, actually, but bottom lane, though, Pharaoh, this could pay off, though.
Well, okay, whoa, did he stop right before the mummy walls? He actually did. I thought that something weird happened right there, but no, he actually made sure not to get hit by it. But in the end, Pharaoh's fine. But yeah, how about this? Roaming Magnus, he goes boots and looking for some kills early on, I guess.
Yeah, but what's strange, though, is that, like, if you see the Golden Experience lead, actually, they're going to slowly get behind, because although, yeah, he doesn't want to, face off against a Vindicator as there's, a potential for Parasite to gank him, but at the same time, that's a whole lane of experience and gold just completely underutilized coming out from BMG. And yeah, okay, he's going to have a little bit of an impact. He tried to gank bottom, didn't really have too much of an impact. He's going to maybe try and gank mid, which I said is the most important lane. So maybe if he could have an impact here, it would be big. But he's just going to rotate to the top lane, and I mean, it's almost too late. So maybe he's going to just stack the Ancients. But still, I mean, he's just so strange that he's just not laning top. I mean, there's so much gold and experience that he could have, but he's just not going to have.
Yeah.
And he's going to get spotted out by this water site here as well. So again, Zibe's effort's just going to be completely, just not used. So
you kind of wonder if this is a team call or if this is a Zibe call.
It's just strange, like,
yeah.
I mean, yeah, he's going to lose the lane against Vindicator, but he's still going to have at least maybe 200, 250 GPM, maybe die once or twice, but it's still going to be a lot more important. He's only level 2 now, and now he's going to rotate top, like, he was going to have a bad time at 1v1 level 1, but now he's level 4, I mean, level 2 versus a level 4 Vindicator, plus the high levels from Parasite. I mean, this is really weird decision making.
Yeah, I will say this about that. What just really happened right there. I mean, Zibe is one of these players. Again, he clearly does what he thinks is best, and a lot of the times we credit him for that. And obviously a great player. And this just seemed like at the same time, with this run that he did, if he happened to set up a kill on a Pharaoh, we'd be applauding it. Honestly, we would be. So it's kind of like it was a risk. It didn't pay off, and deservedly so. Definitely some criticism coming out right here. Kraken in the meantime, the middle lane, I don't think they're gonna have enough actually. Yeah, he's just a little too tanky, and with the Tsunami charge, he will survive in the end. So no Magnus here, obviously, as he is at the top lane now, so could not assist with that. You see Vindicator at the top lane again, just boxing him out as you would expect. But middle lane has turned into a try versus try middle almost, as Tempest and Parasite happen to be in the vicinity. But Parasite will fall back. He actually has a double damage rune picked up, and going to use that to continue along to keep his farm going. But as expected, Vindicator is having fantastic farm. Basically, literally was unharassed for the beginning of the game, as we pointed out. And even now, I mean, Magnus, you see right here, he's just taking some brain drain damage, and Vindicator goes right back to harassing, or farming the creep wave even, in the end. So, yeah, he's not even getting that passive, of course, just simply maxing out the brain drain as well as the Master's Incantation here in the end. So, bottom lane, sure, Hag is also having a very good time. Well, not really, as I say that. I kind of just expected that was the case.
Wow.
Really? Yeah, Haxtron is struggling, man. What is going
on?
I
mean, Hag does have a hard time actually getting last hits, but, I mean, this is Haxtron after all. Like, he used to play Hag all the time. Like, I mean, and he's had some good rotation coming out from Magnus as well, and had a little bit of impact from Tempest as well. So, it's not really down to the fact that, Pharaoh's been harassing him. It's just, honestly, that Haxtron's just missing a lot of CS, honestly. There's not much to it other than that. Pharaoh's actually beat him in terms of CS, and
yeah,
I would not expect that to happen, honestly.
No, yeah, I mean, you're right. And maybe not the strongest at last hitting, but still, it's with experience and a matchup like this, you would think that at least he would be winning the Creep Farm. Be very even if that. But yeah, Farrell's managing a 24-8 compared to a 19-8 Wretched Hag right here. In fact, Hag's at below half life currently. Farrell, though, he's another Stormhead Soul, yeah.
If he had mana, he was in, man. Like.
Yeah, he was definitely going to go for it. But there's a health potion delivered. In fact, he even has another one on top of it. He does have a bottle, but currently, no bottle charges in there. So that's kind of one of those things, too, where especially being a short lane farmer, bottle is kind of an interesting choice. I mean, I know Wretched Hag, has that blink, being able to perhaps get there. But this is what kind of makes it interesting, how the 6-minute rune just spawned. He didn't get that. Pebbles, I believe, picked it up. And so the bottle's almost useless until 8 minutes now, and will it even be used then is the question. So, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that bottle pick. What about you?
I think as long as he gets the runes, then I think it's fine. But like you said, he's not. And what BMG need to do is, like, if they've got a Suicide Magnus who's really contesting the lane, at least he should take or at least secure the top rune. Let Hag get the bottom one, and obviously just have Pebbles take the other one, because Hag really, the only way she's really getting last hits is through her sonar screen. So she needs obviously that mana regeneration, and without the bottle charges, she's really going to be suffering. And actually, Ferro's picked up a Blood Chalice. Actually, it's working quite well because he's got quite good HP regen. He's got quite a few tangos, and he just keeps spamming that torment so which he has maxed out. And I think Hag's gone through 2 or 3 health potions already. And look at that spam again, and without that bottle charges that he's getting from runes, he's going to definitely take a lot of harassment. That it's going to be a little bit of an issue throughout the laning phase.
Yeah, you see right there again, level 7 now. So we'll also see now. With that said, if Yellow Rexar looks to make some movement happen here in the near future, does he have a TP on him? He does. So we'll see. Maybe the top lane, perhaps the middle lane would be the ideal place
mid
to
lane
go to.
definitely.
As Vindicator may not be the best to assist with, but a Torturer Kraken by all means, especially Kraken being level 6. You see Tormented Soul coming mid. That will actually get a, well, I don't even know if it hit the levels, maybe it did, but anyways. He's not going to go in just yet is the point. As I say that, Wretched Hag is going for the bottom rune now. So this goes back to getting the bottle here. Now it looks like he is going to get it. Hopefully it's a good rune for his sake. We'll see what ends up being here. 2 more seconds, and it is an illusion rune, so it's good enough.
Pebbles took top as well, so that's fine. So that's exactly what they need to do. But I mean, one thing's a little bit scary though is that, I mean, Wretched Hag isn't really having, like we talked about, obviously Wretched Hag's low CS score, but at the same time, Magnus is having no impact on the game. Tempest hasn't actually had the greatest of farm in the jungle either. Only 260, but we normally see like 350 actually from Tempest. And Pebbles is really the only shining factor, but it's just not enough. They're going to try and set up a gank here, but Kraken's just a little bit too tanky now with the Steam Boost. So even with that, the stun, if it did connect, wouldn't even have probably taken him down either. So, I mean, for Dawn, it's looking quite good. But obviously, BMG, they absolutely rinsed the last game with a very, very similar lineup, so Dawn definitely have to be sort of careful in that respect. Vindicator's got good farm, but he can't really get involved or do too much until he's got like 1 or 2 core items, which is going to be a while away as well. And Parasite hasn't had the greatest impact either, only 200 GPM, so I mean, this game just seems really, really weird, I have to say. Like, they took the team on top actually, but top lane Magnus might be in trouble actually though.
No.
It's going to be fun.
It's going to be fine. Yeah, just had a range of another Brain Drain right there. I mean, Vindicator could have definitely ultied, and that might have actually been a kill if he did, but it's just like, if you really want to risk that at such a big cooldown. Middle lane, Kraken, he actually missed the charge. Right as I put my camera on him, he goes for a charge attempt and happens to miss it right there on a pebble. So Tempest was nearby, so that might have been one of those cases that's good that he missed it, frankly, because if he started a fight right there, that could have actually backfired. So in the end, no harm and no foul done. But top tower does go down. I think Probus got the last hit for it. No, actually, Parasite did. So speaking of him, his start, it's up to 250 gold for me now. So at least going up a little bit right there. Farrell level 8 now. I will say, perhaps seeing him move around finally, and it looks like he is here to the middle lane, taking advantage of a pretty solid start, trying to set up a kill. But look at this ward of sight. Now, I don't think they can see him yet, but now they can. As soon as he kind of peeks out right there, I'm pretty sure BMG has a good idea that Farrell might be nearby. So he needed to play the angles correctly right here. As I say that, though, they initiate on to Pebbles. Vindicator final chapter comes out as well. Pebbles no chance. And there's initiation on to Rhapsody in the meantime coming out from Farrell. Rhapsody will also fall. So great setup there from Dawn. And now all 5 of them actually happen to be mid. And here we go. Here comes the middle push in the end.
Yeah, and this is what I said, that the mid lane is going to be the key factor. We actually see the bloodlust coming out from the middle lane, and only at 10 minutes in, but I mean, that one kill was just snowballed into a lot Tier 1 tower most likely going to be falling here as well. That's going to set back Pebbles a lot away from his portal key. Hasn't even picked up his Steam Boost. Okay, he's just picked up here, but still very far from his portal key. Compare that to Kraken, who's only about 600 gold away. I mean, middle lane, incredibly important, and all goes back to obviously the rotation coming out from Pharaoh as well. So Dawn having a great start, and definitely prioritising and focusing on the middle lane, which they needed to do, and they've done that. So great execution coming out from them, and giving them the early start in this early game to mid game sort of stage of the game.
What do you think about this? I mean, Vindicator, he does go on the tablet first. Not that that's crazy at all. I mean, that's definitely a solid first pickup here. But I was thinking, this was a free farming Vindicator. I mean, practically it was one versus nobody at the beginning. I mean, sure, Magnus eventually came, but yeah, he was free farming, really nothing to worry about. I'm getting at Alchemist Bones could have been a possible pickup here. Do you think that would have been an okay choice, or do you understand why he just didn't even go that in?
I mean, at the same time, it's one of those things that's like, yeah, if you look in sort of foresight, maybe he should have picked up the Alchemist Bones and that would have been fine, but he didn't know what the stage of the game was going to be. He didn't know how the middle lane was going to pan out. If his mid lane starts losing heavily and Pale starts picking up his portal key, that minus is going to do nothing for him.
Yeah.
So, I mean, in terms of that, like, the safe play is to just go with the tablet, and it still can help in terms of sort of team fighting as well, but at the same time, the minus is also the Alchemist Bones. That's like 1,900, sort of 2,000 gold, and if they do start team fighting for BMG, it's so risky that they could almost lose the game because of that 2,000 gold investment. That it's just not worth the risk. And tablet is still fine as well. Like, it's going to increase his farm just a little bit. It's going to improve his team fight potential. And I think in terms of the risk and the reward factor, I think he's made the right decision. Just go for the tablet.
Yeah, so definitely the safer option, and smart option here as well, coming up from Probosco. You got Magnus, actually. He's kind of in a pretty good flank spot right here, unless, well, there's no towers. I don't know what I'm saying. I was going to say maybe somebody TP's in, but never mind. There is no tower there. So he's just really trying to leech experience the best that he can. Down here, Kraken actually finds Tempest. Oh, that's brutal, man. Tempest. That was an invis Kraken, so of course he had no clue to expect. And then good patience coming out, even with the Tormented Soul, actually finished him off. Coming out from Pharaoh right there. So this is a very active team, and they're going to continue. A final chapter even comes out. Wretched Hag locked down. She could not blink away. I don't know if it was because of the silence or not, but still, the lockdown is successful enough, and now here comes the tower push. Man, again, Dawn looking like they were the first game, honestly. They're playing very well as a team, very coordinated here, and it clearly is working big time against Bad Monkey Gaming here.
Yep, and do you know what the difference is between Game 2 and Game 3? They won mid. They won mid.
Okay.
They won mid. They've got Portal Key on Kraken now. All of that goes down to the initial kills coming from mid lane. It's only 4 kills, I know it's not too much, but the impact that the mid lane has had, like, Pebbles is still quite far away from his portal key, but from that one portal key, Kraken's got the tier 1 mid, a big kill on Tempest and Wretched Hag, as well as the tier 1 mid, and this just snowballed to nearly a 6,000 gold lead here for Dawn. And they might even start looking to take Congo perhaps, because they do have Pharaoh on their team. And I mean, I can't stress how important that portal key and the playmaking sort of item that the portal key and Kraken is as a hero.
Yeah.
I mean, I think Insania was on the cast the other couple of weeks ago talking about momentum. Whoever starts, making the plays, starts making the ganks happen, starts making really the effort, and the ganks happen, is the team that really has control of the game and starts, at the end of the day, is most likely going to win as well. And that's what Dawn are showing here. But, let's not get too ahead of ourselves. They've obviously got the Tempest Astrolabe here. Wretched Hag, I mean, they've got great team fight here on BMG, but at the stage of the game, Dawn are still looking very, very strong. But at the same time, Vindicator, he's not really got that big item that is really scary. Yeah, he's picked up a tablet, but you stated before, I mean, he's not scary enough here for BMG. But actually, they're going to try and set up a gank here. Magnus is here, actually.
Yeah, now, will they put the totem down maybe to help? Not even necessary. He kind of falls back before even putting in a little damage himself. So, yeah, I don't think anything too much is going to happen here on the end. So, yeah, I really look back at Hackstrom, though, and we've been praising him a lot today for good reason, but the first time today, it's just like, what's going on, man? I mean, 257 gold per minute on a short lane Wretched Hag. I mean, we stressed from the beginning how in the early laning phase, obviously he was struggling really against this Pharaoh some way, somehow. Maybe that's where we got to give credit to Yellow Rexar, to be fair, and how he played it, but still not a whole lot coming out. So yes, the wombo combo potential is there, most certainly. Bat Blast, Tempest Ultimate, everything else, but ideally you would also want your Wretched Hag to be progressing pretty well at this point in the game, and that's kind of the biggest difference factor, difference maker even, right now, I think, here in what is game number 3. So Portal Key is finally picked up on Pebbles with that said, so speaking of another impactful time here, that's going to be good to see for the Legion team. One of 3 Arcanas, I'm sure, are being picked up by Vindicator here at least soon. He gets the Steam Staff. and on his way to finishing the first one. So that is important. Okay, apparently Haxron hasn't had the most success overall. You see right there as far as record-wise, 1-3. Well, you know, GPM is usually up there, and I'm sure, you know, given enough time, eventually we'll get up there, of course. But you know, maybe that does say something. But Kongor, okay, they did have a word of sight down here, but again, I don't know if they don't see all the way to the Kongor pit. So
no, it doesn't. If they sneak right on this right side of the ramp, they're not going to see it. But even if they do, they can't. I mean, it's just going to be taken down too quickly, and they don't really have the greatest vision to really sort of start a team fight. I don't think BMG even knows what's going to happen, so this is going to be a token here for Vindicator as well. He looks like he's working towards a Hellflower, which is very, very strong, considering they're going against Richard Hag, and no one's got picked up a strong head yet either, so this early Hellflower is going to play big dividends here for Progress.
Oh, in the meantime, they're going for a Parasite kill. Now, if they don't even get him killed, that's going to be big, but it looks like they are. And Iceland Gogo doing his best to make a turn around. He almost got to the Hell Cannon. If he was able to get to that, man, he got A for effort, definitely, but was not able to make it, couldn't invest, and thus he dies. So at least, again, something for BMG. They get a kill, but losing Kongor and a token of life now on Kraken. That actually is interesting in itself. I'm sorry if you mentioned that, but I was noticing that too. But they give it to Kraken over, say, the Vindicator here. In the end, I guess Kraken is more so going to be the one initiating, of course, and in the front lines at this point in the game. So probably makes sense.
Bones on Richard Hag, actually, as well.
Really? Okay, and this is... So I think this is, well, I guess twofold. I mean, they are going up against Puzzle Box, but also maybe because of recovery. Yeah. Yeah,
it's a recovery Bones here for Richard Hag, and I don't know if I like it, because they've got all the items really BMG need now to start taking team fights, and with Alchemist Bones on Richard Hag, like, why don't pick up maybe the Sackstone or some kind of team fight item? Because I mean, yeah, he wants to get back in farm, but you can get back in farm in terms of team fight. You can take the tier 1 mid, take one tier 1 bottom, and the Alchemist Bones is not really going to contribute instead of team fight. And yeah, it's going to help your own farm, but like I said before, you can get farm through sort of taking towers and taking team fights, but I mean, if the game goes on for maybe 20-30 minutes, then obviously that's going to pay a lot more than just say a Sackstone will. But I mean, the next couple of minutes is definitely going to be the deciding factor whether this is a good pickup or not.
Yeah. Now Magnus, he is going to be fine, I think, in the end. Yeah, thank goodness for Zibe's life that he actually is going to be able to make the getaway. Yeah, he was kind of pushing up right here, and they saw him stun earlier on, knowing that was going to be on cooldown, but not able to take advantage, and eventually he does make his getaway. In the end, but yeah, I mean, Alchemist Bones, you do see the GPM, it already has risen as a result of that, so that's definitely that, and that will recover for you, but as you're kind of getting at, is that debatably the best item pickup here at this point, even with the purpose in mind of that is recovery. I think, again, it's kind of the both happening. It's like, if he was actually having a good start, obviously he probably wouldn't have gone it, even though they're going against Puzzle Box Hat, or Puzzle Box Parasite. But the fact that there is that, and he had a bad start, it just kind of made sense. Pebbles, in the meantime, going to get caught here again. Out comes the silence, and down goes Pebbles. He could not even stun or chuck right there or anything to attempt to flee. And so it guarantees it. So, that's one of those cases. I feel like when we see Vindicator players, it's always interesting to watch how liberal they are using that ultimate. It seems like Probosca's not afraid to use it. That's the third time at least he's used it this game. And, you could argue, like there, I don't know if it was 100% necessary, but it made sure the kill happened. We talk about that with Tempest ultimates all the time early on. It made sure the kill happened, yeah.
Yeah, kill secured, and I don't see why not. BMG aren't really taking team fights, and neither are Dawn, so, I mean, why not use it? And actually another kill as well onto support, so, I mean, I think maybe they're going to wait for the Hellflower and Vindicator before they start pushing, but, I mean, not really pushing and grouping up as 5, then they might as well use the Global Silence, just for sort of ganks, and just to secure the kill, just sort of keep ahead in terms of golden farm, so.
Yeah. He's got the double Arcana here, so very close to the Hellflower. Speaking of that, I will say Zibe's doing a good job of really keeping them distracted up here. They've tried several times now to kind of set something up for a kill, but he keeps just barely getting away as he does, and going to be another case right here. He actually pushed into the trees. Very good heads up to make sure not to be caught by Parasite. Now at the bottom lane, Super KG gets credit for a kill on Torturer. Stopping actually a streak even as well, so a little bit of bonus gold right there coming out for Super KG. And with this start, Tablet picked up on Tempest. I feel like we've been seeing this a bit today. The Tablet's Tempest coming out. Tankafed, this is now back-to-back games, I believe, also.
To be fair, Tankafed has played, I think, Tempest like every single game we've watched today. So it's been the same player.
That is true. So it goes out here. Barbed Armor finished on Pharaoh. Obviously a fantastic pickup, especially when they already got Puzzle Box being picked up by Parasite. And is that level 3 Puzzle Box? I always hate this. Freaking Parasite, man. He can never check because he's always inside creeps, especially after that buff. Why did this hero get buffed? God. Every time I say that, I think to myself, wait a second. Why did he get buffed? Anyways, rant over. Are these triple stack agents? It looks like they are, actually, so let's see if anyone comes over to perhaps do that here on the Hellborn side. Kraken Invis. He's scouting out. You see Alchemist Bones used by Hag. I mean, that GPM, it really has shot up. 370 gold per minute now. But uh-oh. As I say that, yeah, he's in trouble. Look at the damage by Kraken alone. Yep. Dead Wretched Hag. I'm sorry, man. I should not have even put my camera on you. That probably wouldn't have happened. In the meantime, Pebble's going to clean up some ancients.
Yeah, and I mean, like for BMG, it just feels like the strategy and the sort of the item pickups just seem so strange. Like they've picked up like the perfect items here to team fight. You know, they've got Astrolabe on Tempest. They've even got the tablet and Portal Key on both Magnus and Pebbles, and then they've gone just Midas on Wretched Hag, and it seems a little bit split in terms of what they want to do as a team. Whether do they want to sort of sit back and try and out farm Dawn, which they definitely can. But he's actually picked up a light brand now as well, so a lot of farm potential here for Wretched Hag, but it just seems a little bit disjointed in terms of what BMG want to do as a team, whereas, you know, for Dawn, they seem a little bit more on point and on the same page on what they want to accomplish here.
Coordination has definitely been a big part to the success today, no doubt. So, by the way, is everybody picking up the Sustainer? I'm guessing that's going to turn into a Nullstone here, and, you know, Nullstone definitely considered a pretty powerful item against a hero like Vindicator. In the fact that it stops his ultimate, of course. So, and that's good for Magnus. You know, the last thing you want is be channeling up your Eruption, and all of a sudden Infinity ulti goes off and screws that up completely. So, it makes sense as that's what he's going for. Wow, Kraken's rise is even greater. Overall, he's at even 22 and 22, but with 400 gold per minute, he's 15 and 1. So, yeah, Labyrinth is just about there at 390 GPM currently. Safe to say he's a big part, and you talked about this earlier, he's definitely up there as one of the best Kraken players, especially on the scene right now, with Limp, of course, retiring. So that's a Illusion Rhapsody. It's not the biggest deal there. Support just kind of getting some good vision. That's gets a little bit of abilities to be used, but not the biggest deal in the world. Bottom tower goes down by Hag in the meantime, and he's going to actually blink away and go for the TP, and I don't think they're going to chase him. No, unless Pharaoh went crazy, but no. So good push by Haxor right there, enough distraction. And keeping them occupied at least. So I don't know, it feels like so Dawn, they, as a team, just things are connecting so much well together, but are they doing enough with it? I still go back.
Yeah, no, I have to agree with you, because I mean they were like 4 or 5, even 6,000 gold and experience up, but they haven't really been able to, you know, translate that into like an even bigger advantage, if not even into a win either. So, I mean, at the same time, they don't really have the greatest team fight potential heroes. So, although they were up, it's kind of hard to sort of force the issue, because they don't have the greatest team fight, and they definitely don't really have pushing potential. Whereas, like, if, you know, BMG, if they're 6,000 gold up, they're going to force the issue and push the issue because they have the heroes to do it. Whereas Dawn, they need to sort of keep on ganking with the Pharaoh and Parasite, and maybe then get like a couple of heroes killed and then push off of that. But getting one hero kill here and there with a sort of a respawn time of about 25 seconds it's not enough to really push it and translate into a tower. They took all the tier 1 towers out, but to take a tier 2, they just don't have the ability to do that. So I think they're going to wait for the next Congo and then maybe push off of that. They do have the Hellfire now on Vindicator, as well as the stronger head on Kraken. So yeah, maybe the next Congo is going to be the sort of deciding factor here of, you know, making them sort of make a decision on what they want to do.
Yeah, it's it really is that you know, no, with the Alchemist Bones, definitely debatable coming out from Hack, but hey, if there's one thing that you can't debate about it, it will help you recover. That it has, and plus more, as you mentioned now with the Light Brands and the Grimboard just around the corner, and especially once that happens, we know how just quickly a Wretched Hag can start to take off. And again, this is a team built around the idea that Hag's there to kind of clean up, as especially the Tempest gets in there to hold them down, the initiation from Pebbles, and you got Magnus with the follow-up too. So I would be a little worried if I was Dawn, honestly. In fact, this is not going to help things. Parasite gets caught up to the side. He's doing his best to return damage. He gets Wretched Hag low and low enough with the Puzzle Box minions to finish him off. Final chapter was used. Now, nice mana burn on a Pebbles. It does prevent any kind of portal key from being used initially, and it will very likely set up the kill in the long run, unless Rhapsody has anything to say about that. In fact, she needs to be careful herself now, as she could get caught out. Pebbles, he gets the mana, though, from the power supply. Release the Kraken, hold him in place with the charge over the legend. Down goes Pebbles. The Mauler. Is that Mauler going to get the kill? I think it is. Nope, not going to get the kill. Check skills enough. You see the Wizard is still around, though, trying to kill Rhapsody, but no, it's not going to. And support will live. But this should be a tower kill as well for Dawn. So again, Dawn doing some movement here. Good reaction on their part.
Yeah, this is what they needed to do, because I said one pickup wasn't enough, but they took two pickups, particularly the Wretched Hag and the Pebbles, two of the most important heroes here for BMG, and that's the reason why they could translate into a tier 2. BMG did try and sort of split push there, but it's just going to be thwarted there by Pharaoh and Vindicator.
Yeah.
And Vindicator looks like he's actually going to translate his farm into actually a stronger head now as well. So once they get that, then maybe they can take a team fight regardless of if they pick someone up or not. So
455 gold per minute. Yeah, the Shrunken Head proved to be very effective follow-up here. Just gets delivered a Homecoming Stone, though, so yeah, it still needs some more gold before that's going to be coming. Kraken has one of his own. But again, the mindset for Dawn should be, you know, that was good and all. That's we made something happen, but let's not just release our foot off the throttle now and let BMG have their way as far as farm goes. So, again, a little bit of a gap here. We'll see if maybe Congra, I'm sure, is going to be resurrecting very shortly. As you pointed out earlier, maybe that'll be the key to deciding where things are going to go here in the near future. But again, Hag, even after that death, they have 1, 3, and 2. Not the most impressive hero stats, but he is 380 gold per minute. He is very close now to that Grimoire. And the Shrunken Head will follow shortly after. You do see the Hellborn team trying to do some counter-warding with that level 3 puzzle box, but they miss actually the ward site that is here, unfortunately. And it is going to be wearing off, though, shortly with that said. And Kongor just resurrected. So I wonder if that's going to wear off in time. As they're sneaking it. But again, I think this one might see them sneaking in, and now it definitely sees Torturer. There as well. There's the red for it, so that he is going to get it right here as it's about to wear off. I don't even know if he's going to get it in time. Yes, he is. Anyways, they're going for Kongor. I don't know if BMG is going to stop it, though.
I don't think they even need to, though, to be fair, because it's going to be hard for, I mean, it almost is too late for them to take it, but now they actually exchange a tier 1 tower top. They're closing in on that portal key on Pebbles, sorry, the Shrunken Head on Pebbles, and that's a lot more important than that. So they've actually got it now. So it's pretty better than, although they did lose the Kongor, it's kind of good that they've got the Shrunken Head on Pebbles, and it's pretty a worthwhile trade in that respect, because they got the tier 1 top, and they're closing on the Shrunken Head on Wretched Hag, and actually picks up a Grimoire instead. So at least those items have started to sort of happen now, and although they picked up the token on Vindicator, like, he's got quite low life, so they could easily burst him down twice. So it's not the biggest of deals actually that Hellborn do have token, because it's not like a hard carry like, you know, Dark Lady for example, or Doctor Repulsor. It's only a Vindicator. So after the ult is used, actually bottom lane Rhapsody's gonna be falling. So
that was a little greedy by support right there, figuring he could just TP pretty far pushed up, and Pharaoh's like, that's not going to happen. He just comes in with the Wrath of the Pharaoh and stops and eventually sets up the kill, of course. So a couple of other items coming out. In fact, a portal key I picked up by Parasite. You got Abyssal Skull, I believe I just saw finished on Pharaoh, yep. As that now is supported back. Vindicator looking for an opportunity. Going to run into Magnus right here, but no, Magnus portal keys first. No stone was used with that by, I guess the tablet. Okay, I was like, did he ulti? No. But no, the tablet was used, so taking it off. But in the end, no chase further, so. Instead, we'll push back their lanes. Again, the Grimoire on Hag, so that GPM expectantly, now upwards of almost 400 gold per minute. Continues to go up and up. I mean, again, so the gold lead stays very static here at this point. 3,500 gold lead for the Hellborn team. It's been around there for basically, it seems like, about 20 minutes or so. The experience proven to be very identical, but again, they have the token, and Shrunken is just around the corner. You would think if you're Dawn here, that's the key. Get the Shrunken Head on Vindicator, look to then push the issue, because outside of that, I don't see any big item pickups that are coming here on the Hellborn side, at least, that really matter for you to make something happen. So I'm sure we'll see some kind of movement once again coming out by Dawn once that is the case. 3,700 gold on Tankathet with that set playing Tempest. So he's actually very close to a Shrunken Head himself. Now, again, it is worth noting that even with the Shrunken, you still can be silent. So that's where it's kind of, you know, is the Shrunken Head? I mean, still sure it's worth it, but you got that, you got Pharaoh, you got Parasite. I mean, You got release a crack. Okay, so 4 heroes can still stop it, even with a shrunken head. I don't know. Is it actually a good pickup still, then, you think?
I have to say no, because normally I say Shrunken Head on Tempest is always good, but with this many counters, there's no need to pick it up. I mean, yeah, it's not too bad because you can obviously block the magic damage coming out from Torture and Parasite and Kraken, but he should really probably pick up a Nullstone and maybe a Refresher and then maybe go Shrunken Head, because there's no need to pick up a Shrunken Head just for that one reason. He's going to pull up gold. I mean, yeah, it's still good. Even if the helmet is stopped, it's still good. Just block all the damage, all the magical damage coming out from Dawn. But at the same time, there's probably a better item pickup, and I think that will be actually the Nullstone. And like whenever you go against a Vindicator, Nullstone is very, very strong. To be fair, I would still like to pick him have a portal kit actually, but middle lane though.
Yeah, they're got kind of a jump right here, but Parasite takes over the cube at the last second, then actually destroys it and falls back. So not much further going to be coming right there. But yeah, I should say, obviously he doesn't have a Shrunken Head yet, so not to say that that's what he did get, as he just has enough gold for it now. We'll see what he ultimately gets, though. But yeah, you're making a good point about the Nullstone, so we'll see maybe if that is a possibility here for Tank. But I'm sure he's also put his own thought into it, of course. Maybe not even 100% sure what he plans to go for yet, but that decision definitely should come soon, as, again, clearly Dawn is making a point to really turn it on here, as they kind of did in the middle lane. And now they're working towards the bottom right now. You do see Vindicator currently at the bottom lane itself, but his supporting cast is in the Hellborn, or Legion jungle even, taking control of it. Okay, something bought by Tempest. What is being delivered? It is the Nullstone. Okay. So that, that makes sense.
There's no greater feeling than when you say, oh yeah, I think you should pick up Nullstone, and he picks it up. It's just like, it's beauty,
especially
man.
over. But again, it's like when I first brought it up, it was like, okay, they still got Vindicator, but then I was like, oh yeah, wait, they have a pair. Oh, they have a pair. Oh, they have a crack. Yeah, I don't know if Shrunken makes sense. So yeah, it's good to see that he went to Nullstone here. But with that said, that'll only prevent the Vindicator, the big Vindicator stoppage, basically. Now, ideally having both, but no, even having both, I guess, really might not make the sense.
It will stop Parasite's face hug if obviously he doesn't get taken off by Leech, which, although it sounds, it sounds obviously Parasite should stop it with the Leech and then the face hug. Like sometimes you just use the Leech just because you don't really think about it, and so you sort of use it, halfway into the team fight. You're like, oh crap, I can't stop Tempest ultimate, and so then you have to obviously use the face hug, and by that time they're almost already been going off for 2 or 3 seconds, and by that time he's got the usage out of the Nullstone just because of that 3 or 4 seconds on the ultimate. So I mean, in theory, yes, okay, yeah, the Nullstone pickup is still going to be cancelled, but in practice, I mean, when everything's going off, you have a very short window for Parasite as well as Vindicator to really make sure that Tempest ultimate is stopped, and it's harder said than done. So expect Tempest ultimate still to have quite a big use here.
Absolutely. And again, it does obviously go back to the fact as well, even if it's only like a 2-second channel, it's still done plenty in the end as well. I'm sure by that time, Backblasts will have gone off, maybe Eruption, things like that. So, you don't need it to even be a full duration to be a full impact. So, but nonetheless, I mean, it is going to be difficult. Again, you have 4 different heroes, like I keep going back to, that really have ways to stop it if the opportunity calls for it. So, don't expect God holes here, basically, from Tank Effect. If he does get one, then, all the props to him, of course, and perhaps a little bit on Dawn for bad positioning. But we'll see if that ends up coming about. You got the triple stack ancient's going to be cleaned up, so Vindicator, he's got his nice core here going with the Shrunken, the Hellflower. I'm sure from here on out can get even more damage output. Something like that Sheepstick, say, or whatnot. But Token, that ended up kind of just dying, didn't it? So not really making the biggest use of Token of Life here. Did Dawn in that sense. I mean, all ladder towers are destroyed, to be fair, but not really trying to break in to the base by any means. Wretched Hag, 428 gold per minute. Shrunken Head is actually very, very close for her now, on top of Pebbles also having it. So I'm guessing that's going to be a Sheepstick coming out from Magnus here. He's got the Blessed Orb. Of course, the second one because of the Nullstone he went initially. So plenty of nice stats added up for him. Again, though, the stats, this is a very static. I mean, there's only 3 hero kills in total for BMG, so 34 minutes in, not the most active game, to be fair. Even only 10 for Dawn is not the most active at 34 minutes in, so that's been a pretty quiet game, I guess, in that sense. But hey, both teams trying to move on. Ultimately face Sync Esports next weekend, of course, in what would be the winter bracket finals. And put themselves in a good spot. Because, a win here does secure you top 3. I mean, that's another way to look at it. And that's a pretty big deal in itself. So win here, you get top 3 in Cycle 4 at least.
And for Dawn as well, that would be so big. Like,
oh, yeah.
to come just straight from gold to be top 3 would be ridiculous. But they still have BMG in their way, and they're not going to obviously go down without a big fight. But, I mean, that Alchemist Bones, though, from Wretched Hag has actually had quite a big impact now, because he's going to most likely pick up a Shrunken Head next. Sheep's is actually being worked on both by Pebbles and Magnus, actually. As well as actually most likely Vindicator as well. But still, I mean, all these sort of items are going to be picked up, and honestly, I think this actually favours BMG just a little bit, because, I mean, you have the Tempest facts. Obviously, Pebbles can have some kind of impact in the late game, so can Wretched Hag. Whereas for Dawn, it's really just, Vindicator and partly Kraken. And so in that respect, I have to give maybe the late game factor to BMG. So I think this, passivity is going to actually result in more favourable for BMG here.
Absolutely, yeah. No, it's definitely their potential as far as taking advantage of that. Again, Zivik continues to be very sneaky up here, and I don't know if he's just looking for an opportunity or just waiting it out and seeing what happens as far as where the Hellboard team goes. You also look at Kraken, also being pretty sneaky and making sure not to overcommit at anything now. Parasite in the vicinity, so playing some mind games with one another. Kraken, he is going to go for the jump right here on Wretched Hag. Magnus is nearby, but not even close enough. He did not even react because there was no chance to react. The burst was real, and Wretched Hag ends up falling right there. So great patience coming out for Dawn. Kills like that, especially in games where there's so few kills as we're just talking about, they're just that much more impactful compared to kills where, compared to games where they're just happening left and right. So here comes the group up mid. Hag, of course, has a buyback. Now, she had it up for Shrunken. She didn't buy it at that point. Again, I don't know if that would have saved her necessarily, but worth pointing out here. You see Vindicator 0-5, so Quit's kind of making the point right there. But apparently Flens has actually finished 0-5 in a win right there for his team in Cycle 2. So Hag is not going to buy back, it looks like, as they actually could have bottom tower kill. So really not the worst case overall for BMG. They don't even lose the base tower.
And you're really seeing the impact of Dawn's lineup without any kind of pushing potential. Like, they take down the core, the most important hero here for BMG, and they just can barely even scratch the tier 3. It's about half-life now, but still, it's so hard for them to really make an impact into this game because they don't have any kind of pushing potential. Like, for them to push, they need like a 3 or 4 or 5-man wipe practically. And with only one hero kill, I stated it before, but they just can't really capitalise on that because they don't have any kind of pushing potential. But still, obviously, the ganks and the kills are important, but still, I mean, they're only 3,000 gold ahead and nearly 40 minutes in, it just doesn't have that much impact when it did, obviously, in the earlier stages of the game.
Yeah, just to clarify to people, I know Slap's even pointing this out in chat as well, just to help clarify there, but for those that may not be in chat, anyways, Vindicator's ultimate, again, it goes through Shrunken, but if you use Vindicator ultimate and then they Shrunken after, it will remove the silence. So, again, still the idea stands that if the Tempest was to have it, obviously he can channel an ulti and then, get silenced and then pop a Shrunken Head, and, well, the ulti would be on cooldown at that point, so. But, again, just to clarify how that ultimately works as far as mechanics go in the end. But here we go with that Conqueror kill. This will be the third Conqueror kill indeed, and that means Banana's going to be happening. Actually immediately picked up by Vindicator. I think that might have been a mistake. Yeah, he drops that, gets the token. Yeah, Bananas will probably be picked up by Torture as he has some room for him currently. Maybe not, never mind. Kraken ends up getting it. He actually gives Torture, I believe, the Homecoming Stone even, as well as a bottle. So doing a little sharing right there. So another case of Dawn. They're setting themselves up to be in a pretty good spot here. And now we see, but again, the overall picture, you got BMG only down 3,700 gold, 0, basically identical experience difference here. And oh, interesting. Okay, I'm sorry if you mentioned this as well, but Hag actually did go the Nullstone over the Shrunken.
No, I didn't mention that, actually.
Yeah, okay. So I had to do a double take. I was like, oh, well, okay. I mean, we were talking about how Shrunken Head on like a Tempest might not be the best. I guess in that sense, too, might not be the best on Hag. Is that the same, though? I don't know if it is. Because, I mean, that's what I was just saying. Like, Vindicator Silence, you pop a Shrunken and you remove it.
Because with Tempest, like, you want to pick up the Nullstone just because you want to get that one big ultimate off. Whereas Rich Hag, he wants to be continually, right-clicking in, and that Shrunken Head is going to allow him to do that. The Nullstone is just going to maybe allow him to get off the Bat Blast, but he can still get locked down from obviously the Kraken and and the Pharaoh and the Parasite and the Torturer Stun and little things like that. So in that respect, obviously, picking up the Shrunken Head is maybe just a little bit more safe in that respect. Just follow the way of the Pebbles. For the big initiators like Tempest and Magnus, where they need to get those big ultimates off, then yeah, okay, then also makes sense. But for Wretched Hack, who needs to get the right clicks in, and the Shrunken Head is probably the way to go. But picks the Nullstone here instead.
Yeah. Well, we got Vote to Pause coming out here from BMG once again, so maybe I would not be surprised if this is a strat pause, at least a little bit. Again, kind of a slower game. Want to make sure they know exactly what they're thinking here, but yeah, so the Nullstone pickup on a Hag, he's going to continue to push out the bottom lane here. That also bring up the interesting point of, like, so yeah, will he go Shrunken Head next now on top of this, or will he instead go more of a damage focus, something like, say, the Sheath Stick?
I don't think he can have, like, if he's going to pick up a Shrunken Head next, then why did he pick up a Nullstone in the first place? He's going to pick up Shrunken Head if he thinks it's needed, and in this case I don't think he does think it's needed, so in that respect he'll probably just pick up maybe a Sheep Stick or a Hellflower, as you said. I mean, he won't pick up a Refresher because he hasn't got a Shrunken Head or a Sheep Stick yet, so the next two items have to be Hellflower or Sheep Stick in that respect. So
yeah, speaking of Sheep Stick again, Vindicator has his. Now, something else to keep in mind, especially at this point now, I mean, Vindicator, the possibility of getting something like a Restoration Stone is not out of the question. Double final chapter is pretty powerful.
Whenever you have like Shrunken and Sheepstick, and as well as a Hellflower, like Refresh is fine, or sorry, Restoration Stone is fine, but if he's got a massive ultimate that has a long cooldown as well, then make sure you use that as well, so you can make sure you can pick it up. I mean, the item still gives decent stats as well. Obviously not as good as some of the other ones, but that's still a decent stat. Like 42 damage, 10 attack speed, as well as 6 intelligence. Like, it's still decent for Vindicator who has to use an intelligence carry. So.
Mana regen. I mean, yeah, it's definitely. I want to say, especially at least in the Karn to Kaldivar, we were really seeing. I mean, we actually saw that a couple times coming out. So yeah, definitely would not be out of the question here. Now, granted, he only has 1,300 gold currently, so still a lot of time, sure, but wouldn't be surprised to see that next. Looks like BMG is actually ready, so it's just a matter of Dawn letting them know that they're good to go as well. And then going to resume on once again what is going to be game number 3, so definitely a longer day here on the opening weekend here of the round of 8 into the round of 4 for Cycle 4, of course. Again, this is and as opening weekends can tend to be, especially with all the matchups happening and everything. So Sync took care of business pretty quickly, it's safe to say. Not only did they win their first round matchup pretty quickly over Prime Icarus, but then defeating Night Raid, formerly known as The Last of Us, in the winter bracket semifinals before getting to this point, as you see there on your screen. That's how things have kind of shaped up leading into tomorrow. So this is the final match, obviously, of what is today. We're on day number 1 of Cycle 4. But anyways, it's about damn time. Here we go, back into game number 3. Bad Monkey Gaming versus Dawn. So, yeah, the gank attempt up top unsuccessful. Yeah, somebody else pointing out that Zibby's 0-0-1. I mean, there's a lot of stats here that are just kind of funny to look at. But again, with the game where your team especially only has 3 hero kills total, only 14 hero kills in the game overall.
And this game has been super passive, actually.
It really has been. This has been one of the more passive ones we've had so far in Season 3. Feels like the good old complexity versus TDM days. Remember when this was actually an every game thing?
Yeah, that was so bad, man.
That's kind of, you kind of think about that and you're like, well, at least we don't have to deal with this every game like we actually had for a little bit there in the meta.
I'm so glad I wasn't casting that.
I know, right?
So bad.
Yeah, I kind of was. It's a good time, nonetheless. I mean,
for you, it's probably even harder as well because you've got to just talk about the same stuff every single time.
Filler time, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
it's games like that produce us drawing boxes on screen.
Oh yeah.
Good times.
We can't do that now, actually. Like,
yeah, I still haven't figured out. They didn't remove it. Like I thought they rebounded to like P or something, but even when I press P, it doesn't work for me. So I don't know.
There's pretty sure that it's a bug or something. Can you like get them to like make sure we can like draw on a minimap as well? Like, I'd love that.
I will say. I mean, again, there's suggestions I put out there, and let's just say it's not the top of the priority list, obviously, but
hopefully
some fun ideas.
Make it top priority.
I know, right? Just make it happen, right? Just press the button.
It's clearly more important.
Clearly,
It's just let me do it. Like, it's not hard to code it. Like, it's really simple. Like, I'm joking.
Yeah.
I have no idea how they'd actually implement that, but just do it. Like, it's not hard.
Just press the easy button. Make it happen.
Here goes the push, though.
Yeah, actually a push happening here. Magnus doing his part to keep them distracted at the top lane. Maybe be a little bit of a threat, but no, he's going to actually start TPing back as he actually got enough for the sheepstick too, though, and actually Pebbles going in. He chucked Kraken, though. He tried to chuck Vindicator. He got Kraken in an accident as Kraken went in, and now comes the final chapter, and all of a sudden Pebbles locks down. He ends up falling. He does have a buyback. Will he use it immediately? Yes, he will. Parasite in the background. He now takes the sheepstick to the face. Bat Blast in the face as well, and he goes down. Vindicator wants the melee Rex. He pops the Shrunken Head. He's kind of going all in for it. No, he will fall back. And now Magnus looking for his opportunity. Shrunken Head still up, of course. Again, hasn't been a whole lot of those used because of less action, but now it wears off, and Vindicator going to be comboed right here. He will end up falling. He has the token, though. Kraken goes down. The attempt's on him. No, going to be stopped by Pharaoh immediately. Well positioned by Yellow Rexar right there. So Vindicator's up, but he's still being locked down by quite a bit else. No Shrunken Head means no action for him, and he goes down. Down goes Pharaoh, and Bad Monkey Gaming, even with the start not the prettiest, they come out on top big time. In the end, all it took was a buyback on the Pebbles.
Yeah, and I mean, Kraken didn't actually use his bananas there. There's a few things that was kind of weird to me in that team fight. Like, they instantly bursted down the Pebbles, that was fine. But at the same time, like, you had, after the initiation cut from the Kraken ultimate and the Vindicator ultimate, they had nothing else they could really do. But actually, BMG are pushing up here. But in Parasite actually tried to burst down Rhapsody in that fight as well. They just didn't get to do any of that because Parasite didn't burst down Rhapsody because he's gone puzzle box. Like, you don't go and try and burst someone down if you've gone the puzzle box build. Yes, if you've gone the Codex build, but he's gone puzzle box. He needs to sort of sit back and just be involved in the team fight. He's got Shrunken Head as well, so just a little bit of team fight sort of misplays there coming out from Dawn does actually secure the kill. And that big buyback on Pev as well. They use so much just to burst him down, and for him to sort of buy back and then have that much impact as well is a reason why it went so well for BMG. So it's going to force a buyback from Vindicator in that respect, as well as actually Pharaoh. So I guess BMG somewhat came out ahead, I guess.
Well, we also saw that last fight too. Talking about how he's been pretty liberal using the final chapter from Vindicator. And I mean, that time he used that at kind of a funky spot, and that is a tough thing though with Vindicator. With that said, how does he want to try to use it to stop like a big ultimate from happening, or while it's happening, say the Tempest, maybe they got the null stone already canceled or whatever, or does he want to use it going into a fight? He kind of did that right there. But I also looked where Parasite ended up dying, as he's mentioned. He was trying to go for a kill in the background. He died basically tier 4 tower in the Legion base. And, it's things like that where you just cannot do that. Now, as I say this, here we go again. A Russian B channel, though. He goes right on in. Vindicator being locked down. Vindicator pops the Shrunken Head. He pops the banana. There's that Tempest ultimate, though. This one's not going to be stopped. Pharaoh goes down. That's a Restoration Stone Tempest ultimate. And it completely catches Dawn off guard. They were not expecting a second one. Vindicator gets picked off. It's a hat trick for Tankafet, and it could be more. Kraken's trying to get away. Parasite, he comes out of the infest. He's also trying to split the other way. Kraken should be fine, it looks like, in the TP's out, but not the same for Parasite. Even I was caught off guard by that, and I completely understand if Dawn was. The Restoration Stone huge. And
no
then that
way,
happens.
Hexerin.
He ends up dying to the puzzle box minion. I did not actually catch on camera, so I'll pretend it didn't happen.
Oh dear, Hexerin.
So that's kind of big. I mean, he's now dead.
It is big, like, there's no Tempest ultimate now either, so they can't really have that to play. They have the Pebbles and the Magnus, really, but they are still defending against Kraken and Torture. They should be able to get this perhaps, although Pharaoh's up in 7 seconds, so maybe they won't be able to get racked. They're going to take tier 3 then. I mean, with Hag.
Oh, wow. Look at that immediate sheet, man. That was quick timing right there. And Kraken actually, he may fall in the end. Gets Talbot and dares to charge away. Pharaoh comes in the meantime. Torment's doing plenty of damage as well. That's a support Torturer. He's showing that he can do plenty. He will fall in the end, but Barbed Armor also doing work. They get the one kill. And now Pebbles and Tempest trying to fall back. Kraken actually goes down with the chuck. However, Tempest is in trouble still. Puts a stun on him. Parasite. In comes the face hug, though. And now Tankafet can end up falling, it looks like. So, yeah, they did not even lose the tower right there, as Pebbles will TP out just fine. So, another pretty crazy fight.
If they have Hack, that's a tier 3, if not racked as well. So, that kill on Hackshaw was actually really, really big, to be fair, because, yeah, they are ahead, but, I mean, one bad team fight for BMG, they could lose their own racks. Obviously, they've lost their melee racks in the middle lane. And if Hackstrom was there, they'd at least sort of equalise in terms of the middle lane of Rax. But, I mean, Dawn still went a little bit ahead, I guess, because of that Rax factor. Yeah, they are down 16,000 experience down, but that's not the biggest of deals. 4,000 gold isn't too much either, but it just seems in the team fights that Vindicator and Kraken are the only two people who are really doing anything. Like, Parasite is sort of sitting out, sort of stops him on, but so is Pharah, and Torch doesn't really offer anything in terms of this sort of stage of the game. Whereas for BMG, like every one of BMG offers something, even Rhapsody, because of that protective melody. And for Dawn, it's just two people, and it's just not enough in terms of the team fights here.
Yeah. Quincy adding to the fact that this is definitely, I mean, yes, that's actually picked up here, so sure, it's, you know, had some good action, but overall, even after that, the couple of big stages, I mean, it's still actually the record so far for the least amount of kills per minute in a game, but it definitely has picked up within these last 5 minutes here or so. And now Vindicator, again, 2,000 gold saved up. He's going to be joining at the top end. Yeah, you do see the Hellflower purchase on a Wretched Hag as well, of course, coming out. But Dawn, they're going to feel like they need to really force the issue here. Again, ultis are up across the board. So we saw what happened last time, but you know, if they did not overextend, it could have been a different scenario as far as playing it out. So maybe that's what they're banking on here. Vindicator in those front lines, he's got to be careful though. Again, no token, no bananas this time. If he gets jumped, it could happen pretty quickly as far as burst damage goes. So needs to be careful about standing in those front lines. The puzzle box minions kind of up here as well, but you also see Parasite kind of nearby with that Wild Hunter as like a just in case to react. If need be here. So they're going to keep them in the base for the time being, but I don't know if Dawn's going to be able to break this, honestly. If BMG just plays this very passive and safe, I don't know if it can actually happen. They don't have a barrier auto or anything like that to help with the push. And the creep clearance seems to be decent here for the Legion team. At least, in fact, they're going to go in right here. Out comes the Mummy Wall, though. Not the prettiest initiation from BMG. Eruption being channeled in the background. Trying it off, he finally does, but Wretched X 29. Tempest goes down. The Eruption doing plenty of damage. Isn't enough, though. No, it's not. What was that? BMG went for an all-in initiation. Now, they do buy back right here. Final chapter was used, by the way. And there's the second tap. Not the first one, actually. Catches Vindicator. He's going to go down. They catch Magma, so never mind about what they were thinking. I guess that was the plan all along, to just buy back and catch them completely off guard, as they did right there. Holy crap, that was crazy.
Yeah, and I mean, again though, like after Vindicator uses always, after Kraken uses Element, that's kind of all that Dawn really have in terms of team fights, and you saw the buybacks again playing such a massive role because I mean Dawn, they're playing kind of ulti-dependent sort of team fights with the Kraken and Vindicator. Vindicator offering not too much in terms of sort of right-click potential. Only doing 260 DPS with one auto attack. They did actually buy back here, and they're going to try and contest this Conga, actually.
You see Pebbles taking a stun at the last second, too, but no, he's going to be able to fall back in time. And yeah, so they got the buyback. They got to be pretty happy with that. That does mean Vindicator's out of buybacks now, as well as Pharaoh. But, of course, Vindicator's the one that we're really looking at there, as far as that's concerned. So, yeah, Dawn all of a sudden that's where we keep going back though to, and I know this game isn't over yet by any means, but in fact, is this going to be a fourth Conqueror? All Conquerors have happened for Dawn. This will be the fourth Conqueror kill, and yet here we are where they're actually behind here in game number 3. When you look at the big picture and how these fights have been playing out.
Hellborn advantage, man.
I guess so.
But
you know, so I was going back though. It really, you know, this isn't a hindsight thing. We were both bringing this up. It's like, is Dawn doing enough with this lead that they had early on? They seemed like they were just looking for some picks here and there. They were playing a very slow-paced game, and it just looked like that was going to work out better for BMG in the long run. And sure enough, it kind of has here as we've progressed on. I mean, sure, some crazy fights have happened, and you know, some decision making in those fights have taken place that we got a question here and there, but.
I think for Dawn, like, what they need to do here is that you saw whenever they use, obviously, the Kraken Ultimate and the Vindicator final chapter, they get the kills on the big heroes, like the Pebbles, like the Tempest, like the Hag. However, they've still got one more buyback. I'd really like to see, I know it sounds quite strange, but they need to get those kills, back off straight away, try and retreat straight away, and then reinitiate the team fight, in the next minute when they have the ultimates up, because I don't think they can win a team fight with the buybacks after the ultimates are used here from Dawn, but they're going to try anyway.
Something to note as well. I don't know, I haven't paid full attention to that, but actually double damage for him, putting a lot of damage on the tower. As Pebbles will jump in, Kraken with kind of a follow-up tablet out. A couple of shrunken heads being popped, actually more so Pebbles just using his So that they know that'll be on cooldown, of course, now for the time being. Obviously, Restoration Stone is on cooldown for Tempest, about 44 seconds remaining here. So if they maybe get a jump here on this next wave, sure, they would have to deal with one Tempest ultimate, but they wouldn't have to deal with the second one, at least immediately. If it continues to go on, then they very likely could. You see Magnus with the barbed armor pickup too, as well. But Kraken jumps in the background, finds Magnus. Is that the best choice? Final chapter comes out, but again, they're diving pretty deep right here. Wretched Egg gets locked down. Wretched Egg is going to be bursted down to the end. He has a flyback though. Would be his final one. He's there right away. Protective Melody comes out. Tempest, he's being locked down. The barbed armor doing plenty of work. Magnus eruption though in the background. Torch is going to fall. The stun through. Down goes Vindicator. Down goes Pharaoh right there. Vindicator going to come back up though with the token. The dive is real. They're going all the way to the well. They're trying to kill Tempest. They don't even get that, but now they need to get the hell out of there. Simi says, no, you ain't going nowhere. Parasite takes the stun. Vindicator just trying to kill the Rax, though. Can he kill the melee Rax? It looks like he can, so that's the second melee Rax going down. They got what they came for the sense. What cost, though, is it going to be? He gets a quad kill on Haxorid to finish things off. It's a genocide in BMG's favor, but are we really going to have another crazy finish here to finish off the day?
Man. I mean, 2 Rax are down, but again, I mean, they've got 60 seconds before Vindicator is back up again. They're fighting against, upgraded creeps in the middle lane, but still 50 seconds left on Vindicator. They should be able to take the tier 3 and even Rax because they got quite a lot of regen up on Hag and Tempest, and they're rushing to it. Torch is going to be up now, and Pharaoh's going to be up in 13 seconds, but they need the Kraken and Vindicator. And, I mean, I don't think they're not going to be able to defend.
I mean, Torture going to do his best here, but yeah, he needs to be careful. If he gets jumped, he can probably die pretty quickly. So there's the invulnerability. As you mentioned, Pharaoh's going to be upright. I think they are, yeah. It's going to be enough. In fact, Pharaoh goes in and catches Tempest. They're going to go for a kill. He pops a barbed armor. Not much Tempest can do other than tablet out. As he does, it gets even a push from the mummy wall right there. He doesn't have any portal key or anything like that, though, so if they keep chasing, they could definitely still have this kill. It's stun from Tempest. He ulties. Are you kidding me? Wretched Ad coming back in with a Bat Blast. No, he doesn't have a Bat Blast. He's just looking for turn kills. Torture, though, in the midst of it all. He doesn't have the most mana, though. Goes down. Down goes Pharaoh. The puzzle box. Those are level 1 puzzle box minions coming out from Pharaoh, trying to get a kill right here. I don't think it's going to happen, though. Pebbles will help clean them up. That'll be that. Okay, well, I mean, they did keep them off the base, and those are kind of more supportish kind of heroes here, so I don't know if that's really a big deal for Dawn, but...
Well, it kind of is, to be fair, because, like, I mean, yeah, they only support heroes, but at the same time, like, Dawn are incapable of doing anything 3v5. They were having trouble to do it 5v5, so without Pharaoh and Torture, I mean, Pharaoh's still important to actually sort of lock down the Tempest Ultimate if he does come out. Yeah, they did obviously waste Tempest Ultimates, but he does obviously have... Restoration Stone, so in that respect he's still going to have a Tempest Ultimate eventually. But Frostfield picked up actually from Vindicator.
I don't like it.
Nope.
I wanted to see the rest of the stun. Yeah.
I mean, I've said it time and time again that Dawn are winning these team fights because of the final chapter in Kraken ulti. And with a refresh or restoration stone, even if they buy back from BMG, he can have another final chapter. That's 12 seconds of 10 seconds of silence there. That's so much. The team fights last 10 seconds practically. So, in that respect, like he needs to pick up a restoration stone. I think.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, he's going to go for maybe the more hard carry build with the Frostfield Peg, going to sort of reduce Pebbles and Wretched Hag's impact because of obviously the minus movement speed and the attack slow as well. But still, I think the restoration stone would have been the better factor in terms of the team fights.
Yeah, like exactly. I mean, I as you pointed out, I mean, I get it. There is purpose. Now, this isn't the most physical-heavy team necessarily. It's still, even at this point, even in the late game, it's a lot more magic damage potential. But mitigating the right clicks is definitely helpful. You know, as you said, slowing down the attack speed, the movement speed. But God, it's like getting that over. It's he definitely had the gold also to get a restoration stone. They're going to look for a jump, though. They get that jump right here. Pharaoh goes in. Final chapter is here. That's Rhapsody. In the meantime, Pebbles in the background. He's locking out Kraken by himself. So down goes Rhapsody. But at what cost here? Magnus Eruption going off. He's done, and a big turnaround chance coming out right here. Vindicator locked down. There's the Tempest Ultimate coming out. No stoppage on it. It's going to be a full duration coming out. Finally stopped with the release of Kraken. But Vindicator is dead. Kraken's now in trouble as well as Parasite. Kraken goes down. Parasite infests the Warlock or the Wizard right there. And now is on the run, but he has to get out with the puzzle box being taken out by the Alchemist Bones. And he goes down as well, so man. Are you kidding me?
Shrunken Head not used by Vindicator, that was a
Nope.
big reason. And, I mean, yeah, it's a little bit bad from Vindicator, but at the same time, I have to give credit to Zibe. Like, he started trying to eruption and then stunned straight from the tree line and just didn't give any kind of reaction come out from Pro Boss. But, yeah, I mean, if he has that Shrunken Head there, that's a completely different team fight. Everyone on BMG were low. Wretched Hag was quite low. Pebbles as well as Magnus were low. Like, if Vindicator, he got locked down from full to nothing. Didn't get to use anything.
Shrunken Head's one thing, and he absolutely needs to use that. But you know what I'm going to call out ProBusk for is, I have a little backup here as chat's kind of pointing this out too, so credit to them for. But I don't know if he's using his totem at all. I do not know if I've seen a totem used once from Vindicator. And I'm not saying that's the biggest game changer ever, but use the damn ability. I mean, there's a reason why Vindicator has it. It's solid enough to be useful at least.
Man. That's a good call, honestly. Like, it's a massive skill as well. After you got buff, like that's a silence and a perplex. Like, they won't be able to use the items either. So if they can actually, get a pick off from that, and at least in the team fight, it's going to cause complete havoc. But yeah, I haven't seen one totem used coming out from Vindicator either. Actually, that's a great point, to be fair. And, I mean,
I actually didn't even think about the perplex. Now, to be fair, or not to be fair, but so it's still worth calling out on it. But final chapter, it does actually apply that debuff as well if they're in range. I think it's like 1,000 range of him, so he will actually perplex them as well if they happen to be in the range. So that's worth noting there. But yeah, using that totem, man, that's 3 seconds of silence / perplex that they get hit by. After casting an ability.
It's definitely a thing that we should point out, because we've given loads and loads of credit to Pro Basketball, these carry players, but if you're a carry player, you have to have that kind of responsibility. Like, if you play well, yeah, we're going to credit you, but if you play bad, we have to criticize you, because the team is relying on you. If you play bad, you're going to get the criticism coming at you, and it's going to be hard to deal with. But that's just kind of what the carry is. When you have that much responsibility and that much farm onto one hero, you need to have almost your best player playing it, because it is kind of the most important role because of all that farm onto the hero. And Pro Bosk, I mean, if you're not utilizing an ability, I mean, that is something definitely to be criticized without a doubt.
Yeah. Well, okay. I mean, Behemoths are picked up by Wretched Hag. I mean, you look at the damage done, by the way. You haven't really stressed on this yet, but BMG, they get the top racks, obviously. The middle melee racks, they get down. The bottom racks are exposed. So this game's not over 100%, but obviously BMG setting themselves up in a pretty good spot. With that said, both teams are down 2 sets of racks. A lot of buybacks used across the board, including the carries on either side. Hagen, no buybacks. Vindicator, no buybacks, of course. Again, the Frost Shield play on Vindicator, though, the item that he chose to go. The Behemoth's Heart, as I just pointed out, however, on Wretched Hag. So both kind of going more of that. We want to tank up, stay alive a little bit longer. I mean, hell, this is a Hag all of a sudden now with 3,300 life here. So, yeah, he is actually pretty tanky as a result of that. Full Demonic Breastplate, by the way, on Tempest. That's kind of a pretty big deal as well. Again, this is the most physical, threatening game on either side, frankly. But still having items like that to mitigate those right clicks in general, powerful in itself. Are we really going to see a 5th Kongor kill? We're coming up to 60 minutes, and I mean, Don's setting up for it, understandably so. And I don't know if BMG can stop it. Again, the Hellborn advantage here definitely kicking in. They have to worry about the middle lane at least kind of being pushed in here. It depends on how quickly he responds.
Yeah, I don't know the timer, but I'm assuming both teams have like timers for it. There it goes up now. So.
Yeah. Yeah, you see, chat's definitely making a point that he's not using that Glyph of Silence of his, unfortunately. So, okay, so yeah, Kongor's up. You look at BMG, they immediately move over as if they're aware that that was the case. Vindicator is using an illusion right here. Now, okay, if you're BMG, you see that damage, yeah, it's like, okay, that's a fake. Pretty obvious now. I'm a little disappointed that they actually didn't try to use that illusion a little better, because I honestly, in situations like this where it's so tense, I would not have been surprised if BMG went for a jump right there.
Definitely. Like when like big stakes are on the line, like and that kind of clutch play, it's a big thing. It's like, oh, quickly go, and you don't think about it. Like maybe you should definitely test it out. But I mean, if you can kill that Vindicator, you've won the game. So that illusion is just that big of a deal. Do you know what I mean? So did not bait effectively in that respect as well.
Yeah. Well, the standoff is real here. As okay. I think he's really scouting with it more so than anything, but that's not the biggest deal in the world. But destroyed by BMG right there. Rhapsody actually takes the brunt of the Mauler, the puzzle box Mauler. So this is an interesting standoff because both teams are dealing with the same situation basically, although it's a slightly different. I mean, the ranged Rax is down in the middle lane for the Hellbourne team, where the ranged Rax is down at the top lane for Bad Monkey Gaming. So that's kind of making each of those lanes a little bit more favorite for one team or the other. Right now, Farrell says, screw it, I'm going in. They get the trap on a Rhapsody. He's Sheepstick on a Kraken in the meantime. Rhapsody, no chance. She gets out before it. Going to drop. But how much will continue? There's the E coming out. There's a Glyph of Silence being used as now Pebbles and Wretched Hag in the chase, but they are going to destroy the totem. And they're going to commit further. They are completely split off. Now comes the final chapter. Pharaoh is locked down, though, and he will die in the process. Kraken, though, he gets Tempest. Tempest ain't going to do a damn thing as he goes down. Vindicator putting the auto attacks. The release of Kraken, pulling in Magnus. Magnus going to fall as well. Looks like Dawn is actually coming out of top here as Wretched Hag, she has to blink away, but Parasite chasing. That Shrunken Head going to be wearing off. Nice Hellflower. Will it last long enough? It looks like it will. In the background, Pebbles is still here, but so is Kraken. Kraken sidesteps in. However, nice disjoint with the portal key, but he still got hit by the debuff. Thus is slowed. Sheepstick on to Kraken right there. Out comes a leech though. And now Pebbles completely trapped between a rock and hard place here. However, supporting cast is coming, including a double Tempest ultimate from Tempest. He puts a lockdown on a Torture. Somehow, Pebbles is going to live. And Torture goes down. But good decision, I think, from Dawn overall to not commit to a fight further there. As, yeah, that could have been ugly if they did. So they saw the buybacks. They fall back. Another crazy finish is definitely in the works here.
I would have liked to see Kraken actually man up there, get the kill on Pebbles. He's going to die, and then he's got a buyback. He's got 2 buybacks. You need to use that. It's another resource, honestly. And if you can kill Pebbles, then obviously it forces him to buy his own buyback. You've got 2. I mean, you can't really keep hold of your buybacks here because you're going to lose the game otherwise. And he's got enough gold. I think he should have used it, but in the end, they're going to push in here. They need to take the team fight. They cannot give away super creeps.
Well, Kraken's going to put the charge out, but not really the most done right there, Magnus. Able to avoid enough. Final chapter is down for 70 seconds. I mean, BMG obviously very aware of this. They know that this is their fight to win right here. Wretched Hag doesn't even care. She just stands her ground. Here we go. The battle blast opening. Vindicator going to be locked down. He cannot do a damn thing. He's locked down the whole time. Will he get up and chuck it at least? No, the Tempest ultimate pulls him in. As soon as he came down for the Storm Spirit, again, not able to do a damn thing. It's going to be Clay now for Bad Monkey Gaming, and that could have done it right there. BMG perhaps going to the winner bracket finals. Vote you can see comes out. It looks like it is going to be official with no buybacks to be had. GG, well played. Bad Monkey Gaming will face off against Sync Esports in the winner bracket finals.
So close. I mean, there was so many team fights that were just a sliver going the way of BMG, and it made all the difference. And I mean, congratulations to them. But at the same time, Dawn played fantastically well, and for them to come straight out to gold to at least be sort of 4th and 5th or fourth place, I think is this time, it is still impressive. So congratulations to them as well. But man, what a game, what a series. Whew, man, been a long day, but been good fun though.
Oh man, definitely a long day indeed, and crazy stuff all throughout. But what a way to finish it as BMG ultimately goes through. And I don't know. I feel like maybe this, we've been saying this a lot today, but at the same time, I mean, BMG, yes, deservedly so taking the series. But now I will say this. Okay, so Dawn, you know, maybe there were some times there as far as decision making goes, not the best. You know, perhaps Vindicator not using his Glyph of Silence all the time, definitely hurtful. But hey, this is the team that just got Diamond here. You know, they were in Cycle 1 technically, but definitely a new team, especially with Pro Bus joining the ranks. They ultimately still, I'm sure, are fairly happy with results overall today, but at the same time, it's got to be so disappointing knowing that you